Hello, hi love. Um, so I am on my second episode of Curatees. Still appreciating the alliteration and regretting the choice of using a word that I can't pronounce. So, um, I went to the library today to get some books. I had to get a library card. So, as a curator, it's something that I feel super strongly about because it's so important to be able to find the thing that you need when there's so much published. Most of the things that are published are amazing. Everyone is their hero of their own story, and if they're making it, they think it's an experience that you should experience. So in general, everything's good, but not everything is good, and um, it's hard sometimes to find something that you should enjoy. And even, when you have a little bit of time, then you just better be spent enjoying a thing rather than trying to find a thing. So I think libraries are amazing. My public library, and more importantly, my high school library, is probably the only reason why I'm still here today. Um, in the very case, I would not have finished high school because I would have not showed up a lot more if we did not have as much an amazing high school library as we did. Um, anyway, so um, first, check out my fit. I love this. I'm returning it, which makes me sad. But first of all, I have Ilya, and she is a very sheddy white dog who spends all of her cuddle time with me. And there's no way that I would not spend all of my time just getting white little hairs off this. I just put a new sheet on the bed, covered in dog fur immediately. Like me getting it out of the clean dryer, getting it in here already. It has her hair on it. Anyway, it's fine, but I would feel awkward about it going out. Second, it had a little rip, and then I got stuck, and now it's extra ripped. So we will be returning it. But I think it makes me look like someone who's read more than one book this year, which I haven't, unless you count comics, which I don't because most of them aren't finished, and you know, I read them on an online format, so yeah. But anyway, I want to talk about this book. But before I get to that, I want to show off what I wore to the library, and then what I'm wearing now, just just for comparison's sake. Because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not comfortable wearing what I'm wearing now out. Um, because I don't want to be a conversation. I am comfortable wearing this out, like places, but not to go to the grocery store, go to the library, pick up medicine. It that's where I'm at. You should feel comfortable in whatever you feel comfortable wearing. I don't want to be a conversation because I will be nervous and I will stress about it for the next week at least. Because I'm thinking about one time right now, and it was like 5 months ago. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, so we have the symptoms of being human. This is the first book that I read that blatantly had representation for someone who was um, outside of the gender binary. So um, I will give a shout out to it for that reason, among others. It's called Symptoms of Being Human by Jeff Garvin. Um, the little blurb is boy or girl, and it is yes. So, um, there's a lot of things I can talk about this book. First thing I want to talk about is that um, protecting yourself when you're online is super important. Don't put anything online that you would regret if someone who knows you would know. Just throwing that out there. Delta, I'm looking at you. Anyway, um, basically, the book is about a child of a politician who is coming to terms with, who they are and their family's expectations, and then in the process going to a new school after some trauma. And there's a whole lot of things there. Um, they are gender fluid, and they have a couple relationships that um, they don't know what's going on. And I mean, it's very much a book targeted at teenagers, and the main character is very much a teenager. Um, I am recommending this book as an intro to being outside the gender binary. Because it was my intro to being outside of the gender binary, despite all of the things that was going on in my life. Because I should have been pretty aware. But like outside of erotic stories, that was my first representation. Anyway, um, so they have a relationship with a couple people. One is a girl who keeps giving them mixed feelings. Who, the first time they meet them, they don't think that they're a girl. Um, and Anyway, there's a lot of things going on, but kind of what I want to talk about is that it gets some hate, because it is not written by someone who is non-binary, and then, well, gender fluid, outside the gender binary. It doesn't matter. But uh, they, are cis male, and some of the things that the main character does seems offensive to people who are trans, or is what it is. Um, I think that they're giving that flack incorrectly. I think he did a really good job. He did his research. He's trying to understand the thing. And, he decided to make this person a person. And moreover than that, a teenager who's trying to figure out what the heck is going on. Um, and, because of that, the main character is not a role model, except for when they are. But, it is what it is. Um, like, one thing that happens is, like, she gets in a fight with her bully, and, again, they do not ever explicitly in this book tell you what the main character's sex is. I think they probably use different pronouns throughout. I read this very recently, because I wanted to remember if it was a good primer for my wife to be like, hey, here's this thing that made me understand what is going on with me, back when I originally read it, to a certain extent. I'm like, well, that's not me, but that's kind of me. Anyway, but, I part of it is kind of, and the author talks a little bit about this in the author's note, that he didn't know if, he would get anywhere writing this, because his goal was to write it from the perspective where he didn't know what the main character's sex was. Um, and, he was afraid that, he'd hit a roadblock, like, right away, and nothing would come of it. So, I mean, it's very interesting. But anyway, so reason why she's not a role model, again, not a she. I don't think they ever give any preferred pronouns, so I'm going to use she for the moment. Um, Anyway, they get in a fight with their bully. Their bully already had an injury. They took advantage of that and made the injury worse. not great. Uh, so, but one of the other things it talks about, other than trying to like come to terms with this, try to come to terms with pressure from your family, and how to, you know, come to that and do it in a healthy way. Doesn't come out in a healthy way because there was not online safety, and she's outed by someone else who has their own reasons for outing them, which is awful. Nobody should have to experience that. But, um, so yeah, I think it's a good read. I highly recommend it. And if you are outside the gender binary and you want to be like, hey, here's this book, maybe this would help you understand me more. If it's somebody who likes to read books, it's not a bad idea. So yeah, I think anything else I want to hit on. I don't know. I think that's mostly it. Yeah, I think it is very good, and just because someone doesn't know what they are. Okay, so I think it's super important to represent people in an authentic way. If the author had made the character know what they were doing, hey Sophie. Also, cat hair. Cat hair would have been a thing. Like, I should return it even if I didn't break the collar and stuff. But again, I was super. I don't know. I like it, and because it's an outlet store, I will probably never find like this again. It's just they didn't sell, so it's there anyway. Um, Easily distracted. Um, I will probably cut that out and figure out what I'm doing. Authentication. Being authentic. Being authentic. There we go. Um, so, like, if Jeff Garvin had, made this character know exactly, what their whole deal was, speaking as someone who came out as non-binary after a whole lifetime of stuff, late 30s. That would be weird. She's a teenager. She is going to therapy and trying to figure out a whole lot of stuff. She doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't have healthy relationships. I don't know if I've met a teenager who has healthy relationships. Um, anyway, it's good. You should read it. I highly recommend it. And yeah. So that was episode 2 of my curation thing that I'm trying out. I hope you enjoyed it. All the loves.